I'ma just really just try to get to the point in this video because honestly, I want my full attention to be on Sonic Frontiers when that drops at midnight, because that's a bigger importance than anybody else trying to give me hate right now. When it comes down to things, I recently discovered, personally on my own, a video that someone was making of me where they was basically saying I was a hypocrite about the whole Loli thing and how, you know, I guess I paid attention to the past beef, honestly, because of a short I made, which is really ridiculous. They also went on to say, you know, a whole bunch of negative and horrible things that relates to me, obviously, and, you know, other things that doesn't necessarily really matter, but still, it's really annoying to hear, and much less, it's just shitty and corn dog ass behavior, if I'm being honest. Now, also when it comes down to things, in the description, while they said all these horrible things and just be this dick ass person, they go out this way to be like, but at the end of the day, don't send no hate to this guy. This guy is still a decent person. I hate his views, but he's still a decent person. Number one, you do not come at me trying to talk about all this type of stuff, going on this long ass rant when it comes to Loli and whatever, because that's what this is all about. Come at me with this long ass rant talking about Loli and all this type of stuff, thinking you're right when you're really not right because you haven't said one factual thing in that entire video. But you come at me with this entire thing and then still formulate all these opinions thinking that you got something when in reality you obviously don't. That's number one. Number two, you try to come off as someone that, you know, wants to be a friend when you're not really a friend. A friend doesn't say horrible ass things to someone. Even if they're making like a really bad mistake, they might call you a dumbass. That's perfectly fine, because I will call my own friends a dumbass if they do something stupid. But it's out of respect and out of wanting them to do better, honestly. You came out of this with full force negative ass energy on some crackhead smoking in the woods type shit, which makes absolutely no sense, and you just came through it. And then you have the nerve to try to be like, but he's still a good guy at the end of the day. No, don't touch me, bro. Don't even get near me before I fold your ass. If I'm being perfectly honest, do not come anywhere near me, because this is just absolute nonsense. We are not friends. I know you still subscribe to this channel. Why are you still here? Your presence is not needed. Kindly F off. Number two, all this does is just make me want to make more Loli content and Loli related videos. If I'm going to talk about Eerie and how she has a dump truck booty and some flat titties, but I want to still slurp on them, I'm going to talk about it. I don't care if you don't necessarily like it. It is not for you to decide what content I make. I'm going to make what I talk about. I'm going to enjoy talking about what I like to talk about. It is what it is. Either you watch it or you don't. I'm not forcing anybody to stay here right now. If you want to stay on this channel and subscribe for more future content, please stay. We're gonna have a fun time in the future. But if you don't like my views and anything that I'm saying, then go ahead and leave. That's perfectly fine. But still, when it comes down to things, I'm not gonna just sit here, take all this nonsense, and have someone talk all this shit and then just be like, you know, maybe they're right. I should change my content. For what? To just get pissed on by everybody else? Absolutely not. I am not gonna do that. It's a hard ass pass. Like, this is the second time where someone has come at me with some nonsense ass beef or tried to start some damn beef and then still thinking that they're finna, you know, have this really try to wreck my day, when it does bother me, but I won't necessarily say that is it like the most overclouding thing that, you know, actually affects me. Like, oh my gosh, I can't think nothing but anger and hatred toward this person. No, not necessarily. Genuinely, in a big ass way, I do not care. But I am going to mention it because I refuse to get my ass walked all over on. That is just something that's not going to happen. I refuse. Number three, and this is the fattest thing I still don't understand. We talked about Loli so much as a topic last year. Where the hell were you at? Where the hell were any of you hating ass people at? Where we talked about this all last year. We talked about T-Con. We talked about computer generated 3D models of Lolis. We talked about What else? We talked about like the literal history of lolicons and in manga and anime history. We talked about the most banned manga in Japanese history, honestly. Where was y'all at that point? Hell, when I had an open invite for you to cancel me, where were you at? I didn't even see not a shred of people, even though the idea was dumb and Alice sure gave me a lecture for it. Where the hell were you at? You don't, again, you cannot get on this topic and you don't know anything about the topic. You need to learn as much as you can before you come up with a response, because the majority of the time when people come up with responses, it's idiotic and it's corn dog ass behavior. Have you considered asking people, why do you like Loli? What is so special about it? Is there any reason for you to like it? What, did you even bother to ask people that? Have you even considered maybe people just like it because there's a market for it? Which there is. Genshin realizes that. Other games and anime, you know, people honestly realize that. The whole anime industry knows people still like Loli to this day, even if it's looked down upon. It doesn't matter. If there's a market for it, people are gonna cater to it. It just doesn't matter. It is what it is. And there is many different topics and things to talk about when it comes to Loli. The only reason I haven't really, you know, talked about Loli recently was because I didn't really have a video idea or a topic to really kind of go for, honestly. That's literally it. But now, with this whole ass train of hate, or at least this really minute piece of hate that I've been getting recently, whether it's through random Twitter people or just random videos, it just makes me want to make more content when it comes to Lolis. Maybe licking the asshole of Loli Nezuko. Who knows? Maybe I might just make a Kokatsu picture and just do it. I don't know and I don't care. But when it comes down to things, majority of people that do these type of videos or just talk about Loli and don't have any type of real facts and just be nothing but opinions, all they do is just make people look even more ignorant than they already is and make people look more stupid, especially the ones who just refuse outright to listen to anybody's other opinion outside of their own. I get that it's something that you might not necessarily like or agree with, but people are going to like it. If you like it, it's okay. If you don't like it, it's still okay. I don't care. But when it comes down to things, you should not be the one to, you know, judge people for liking this type of material, especially when you have people literally that exist out there that like snuff material, which is weird as hell, and yet people be like, oh, they're the most normal people of society. How so? That doesn't make any type of sense. You can't just pick and choose what part of anime you like. Either accept all of it, or at least respect that it exists and just leave it be, or, you know, just not be a part of anime and its entire thing at all. You cannot pick pieces of what you want and want to ignore. I bet there's tons of pieces of history that people want to ignore, but Loli is not going to be one of them, and Japan has no reason to get rid of it anytime soon, or people should be hating on it anytime soon. As we said, when it comes to the history of Loli, you wouldn't have majority of stuff in anime if it wasn't for a Loli getting clapped, or it wasn't for a Loli doing something first, because that's where it comes down to. If it wasn't for a Loli, in majority of cases when it comes to a lot of anime and a lot of material that you watch and enjoy when it comes to Japanese media, we wouldn't have literally anything that we currently have. Even when it comes to VTubing in a way, if it was in the lootness that comes out of that, you wouldn't have that if it wasn't for the first Loli Gentai to be made. It just doesn't make any type of sense. The whole point is, when it comes to this video, if you're gonna come at somebody, or if you're gonna go as far as to state an opinion when it comes to Loli, make sure you have the facts straight. Make sure you actually talk to people and understand it. Hell, even interview people, which is something I did, by the way, when it comes down to things, to understand the topic even better, because it just doesn't make any sense. And if you're an anti, and if you don't want to look worthless as hell, the least you could do, if you really cared about the topic, or you really cared about helping out real kids, which we care about too on this channel, but if you really cared about doing that, you could at least post a charity link or something in your description. just to try to help out some real kids in some shape or form, or at least have the opportunity to do so. I'm not saying that that's the ultimate way of doing it, or that's the only way. There probably isn't a way, but it probably requires money, which I don't have. But still, when it comes down to things, the least you could do is have that at the ready in your description if you want to help out some kids in real life that should not be going through any of this nonsense. What do you think the whole Kodako arc in Koikatsu story was? This is why I need more people that is subscribed to this channel to watch it. Because when it comes to that story, the whole point of that arc was literally just focusing on her backstory, her canon past in Danganronpa, to literally kind of just highlight it a bit more and try to make it, you know, I guess more realistically reasonable, honestly. That's the whole thing when it came down to it. I wanted to address it because it was just like, yo, the real message out of all of this when it comes to this arc at least is to stop doing this stuff to actual kids. Stop letting them be exposed to this early in their lives and just protect them as best as we can. That's the whole message. And then if you can also help out some kids that might have gone through this, whether it's through donations or volunteering, if that's what you want to do, then literally do what you gotta do with whatever resources that you probably have at your disposal. At least that was the whole point when it comes down to things. But we don't have aunties doing that. We have crackhead aunties coming out here with opinions, thinking that you're friends with someone that you're really not, and then go as far as to have these whole ass opinions but help nobody, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So at the end of the day, do I really care for all this hate? No, because again, I got Sonic Frontiers to worry about, and we're going to be running fast as hell, and that's all that really matters. But when it comes down to things, stop getting into discussions that you absolutely have no facts or legitimate, you know, answers to. And if you're just going to come in with opinions, you need to sit down somewhere, little boy, because it's not necessarily worth you getting into any of these. And when it comes down to things, you're just making yourself an ass out of literally your own opinions, and then going as far as to try to do this and you thinking you actually have something. That doesn't work. You do not try to you shouldn't really just try to formulate some type of opinion and then kind of go after someone with facts. Honestly, you just don't do that. I have been talking about Loli for over a year at this point, and you really think some whack ass opinion is going to be enough to challenge me and challenge what we have discussed on this channel? Keep in mind, by the way, a good chunk of my subscribers as well are lolicon people, which, you know, I've noticed that anytime I was talking about last year, we had a huge ass boost in numbers, and I'm like, damn, these are some lolicon ass people, my people. So it is what it is. Obviously, if you're in your right mind and you obviously know what's real and what's not, you can do what you want. If you're not in your right mind, don't do it. Don't even go near loli content. Honestly, seek help if you can. If you can pay for it professionally, or just do things to, you know, make your mind better, which is something I highly advise. You know, keep your minds in check and obviously know what's real and what's not. And that's literally all you have to do. Well, probably not all you have to do, but that's the biggest thing to keep in mind. But that's what all I wanted to talk about when it comes to this one. Again, I wanted to do a Sonic video today and just have fun with that, but this needed my full attention first because this doesn't make any kind of sense. And when it comes down to things, it just makes me angry because, again, we have so many people not talking about this discussion, and then when they do talk about it, they have opinions and not facts. And that's why I hate 2015, 2016 anime community, because all you saw was videos of people just dunking and dogging on the loli topic, with very few people coming through and actually having real legit facts and actually, you know, meaning things when it comes to it. And it's just so stupid, honestly. Like, a lot of anime YouTubers should have really had focus on this topic in a serious light, at least. Because again, it just doesn't make any sense. And enough of this whole, I don't have opinion of it, but you know, maybe you do. No, have a stand for once. Actually have a backbone to stand on. If you're gonna enjoy loli, or you're gonna enjoy some parts of it, and whether it's like a MHA character, or whether it's a true loli character, or a loli character that got isekai or whatever, if you're gonna enjoy it in some shape or form, at least have a stance on it in some way. because not having a sense on it just makes people go dumb for whatever reason. But that's pretty much what I'll always want to say. You know, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more future Loli content where I talk about licking Erie's titties and her ass and the vagina. Then we're gonna have some fun with that topic, so go ahead and subscribe if you would like to hear more of that. Also go as far as you can, you know, Patreon and Twitter, and if you have that, you know, in the description, that's a thing as well. Probably not gonna edit this video because I'm actually angry and I lost my voice. Thank you. And yeah, honestly, again, just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Respect everybody's. You can just give some people like some respect, please. Like, you don't have to respect everything, but just respect them enough to the point that we don't have corn dog ass behavior like this dude. And you know, that's pretty much the entire thing I want to say. Hopefully for the people that's gonna play Sonic Frontiers, have a fun time tonight if you're gonna play it tonight or tomorrow, because I'm certainly am when I get the chance to. And definitely, until then, it's your boy Jay, sign off. Have a say.